Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to another episode of Open for Discussion. I'm your boy, C. Maurice Ball, and we are about to get at it. And today I have a young man on here who is phenomenal. He's out here changing the world with his question of the day, provoking people to think about their lives, helping people get into solid, healthy relationships. He's an author, he's an entrepreneur, he is a dynamic person. He is doing big things. I had the honor of sharing the stage with him at an event that we did, that we hosted together. And this young man is awesome. And so, without further ado, we're going to kick this intro and then we're going to come back and we're going to chop it up. Let's go. Okay, I'm on. There we go. So we can be side by side.
Yes, sir.
Well. I'm introducing to some and presenting to others the man of the hour, Mr. Keith Shorter. What is happening?
Man, what's going on? I'm happy to be here, brother. Happy to share this spot with you.
Oh man, I'm glad you said yes. Had let me tell you how he ended up here, y'all. Y'all know I always have a story of most of the time of how I met the person that is normally on here, and is normally just it's really crazy. But this one wasn't. So we were on this panel. We have a mutual acquaintance, and this acquaintance has this platform, and dealing with relationships. So we started to frequent, just kind of pull into this one location, and we would be talking about dating stuff. And of course, he's the man. All the people that was in the live on TikTok was there to see him and all that good stuff. And so we started just clowning in the TikTok, feeding off each other and just having a good time and just building a relationship. And it was just a good old time. And then we did this event that we shared the stage together, and we sat there and we talked, and it just furthered the relationship. And I was like, yo, I gotta get you on my podcast. And he was like, look, man, anytime. And so this was all recently, and so and here we are standing on the stage, and we about to sit here and just talk with my man and see how he's doing and what's going on in his life, and we gonna have a good old time. So, Mr. Keith, what's the dealie, yo?
Hey, man, just happy to be here, man. Just like you say, feeling the vibe, man. It was a crazy weekend in Dallas. We had a ball. So I'm just ready to keep this thing moving forward, man.
It was a crazy weekend in Dallas. Had a blast in Dallas. We had a blast in Dallas. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It was a good time. It was a good time. And again, for those who don't know, he is an influencer. He is an author. He is an entrepreneur. But before he became all that, he has a story that connects all the pieces for him being able to land in the spot that he's landed in now. And he is out here doing big things. So, Mr. Keith, where you residing at? Where you tapping in from?
Man, I'm in Columbus, Georgia, man. I'm about an hour and a half south of Atlanta. Like a lot of people haven't heard of Columbus, but everybody know Atlanta.
Columbus is. I had an opportunity in. No, I'll say I applied for a position in Columbus when we lived in Swanee,
Okay.
and of course I didn't get it. So I don't think I ever been to Columbus, Georgia, but I'm pretty sure it's nice.
Growing, man. It's a pretty nice place, man. We got a little crime here, but it's a great place to raise kids, and actually, like, we're probably one of the fastest growing cities in Georgia, I think. So it's really picking up. We got River Walk, we got Fort Moore, which was Fort Benning, right?
Oh yeah.
We sit right next to Alabama, so what I'm saying, you get to travel either side.
What part of? I mean, how close is that to Alabama? Is that the Mobile? Yeah, close to Mobile or
It's
Auburn?
no Phoenix City, Alabama. About an hour and a half. Well, about 30, 45 minutes from Auburn.
Okay.
Maybe an hour and a half from Montgomery, Alabama. So, but yeah, but our neighbor city is Phoenix City, Alabama, and it's literally like we literally side by side. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Like right across the street.
Hmm?
Okay. Okay. Was you born and raised in Columbus?
No, man. Actually, I was born in Hartford, Connecticut. Man, that's the funny part about it. Most people don't know that, but I was raised here in a little town called Lumpkin, Georgia. Man, we moved down here when I was maybe 7 or 8. So I'm a Georgia boy, man. I'm a country guy.
You said Lumpkin, Georgia?
Georgia, right? Population about.
I, I I hear Lumpkin, Georgia, and I just like, yeah, everybody walking around with no shoes on,
That's how it
sitting on the
started.
porch, spitting watermelon seeds. I
Exactly.
am totally stereotyping and generalization
Oh,
everybody in Lumpkin, but
yeah.
it's Lumpkin, Georgia.
Actually, Lumpkin is like it's the seat, but I'm from a smaller itty bitty town called Omaha, Georgia, which we don't talk about. You know what I mean? So it's a really
Where the stop sign and the stoplight is all at the same spot, and the Walmart has the bowling alley in it.
Walmart lights. No, man, we got about 10 stop signs in the whole city. That's it. Population, mega people, man.
So you was raised in Lumpkin,
Mhm.
and like, are you the oldest? Are you the youngest? Are you the middle child?
The youngest, me and my sister, man, we 13 months apart. So I'm the big brother, even though she's older. So yeah, I'm the youngest, man. Mother and father growing up, you know, traditional. Mom and pop both worked, drove school buses. My mom worked at the school, and my dad worked at the bus shop. So
That kept you out of trouble.
yeah, for real.
Yeah, can't get in trouble with my dukes is at the school. That's
School was
that's instant punishment
crazy, man. I couldn't do nothing. Couldn't do.
until you got to high school, probably.
No. She was there in the high school.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh man, that's not cool because that's where all the mischievous stuff
Oh,
happens in high school.
man, listen. As a freshman, I got in trouble one time, and then they sent me to my football coach, and then my coach told my mama. So after that, I ain't no more trouble in high school, man. I was pissed.
So you was a football player?
Okay, no doubt, no doubt, man. I was pretty good.
You was pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What position?
I play offensive. See, I came from a small school, so I play offensive guard, play a little linebacker. Until I dislocated my shoulder when I was a junior. So I just finished my senior year just being offensive guard, man. But I'm from like one of the smallest counties in Georgia. Like it's literally a very small school, man. But everybody knew everybody. Everybody was tight. You know what I mean? So it was different growing up, but I value that now.
Right. Right. The small the close knit
Mhm.
uh village. It takes a village to raise a kid kind of setting. That yeah, we definitely miss. You definitely miss out on that now, just because of how society is. But so through high school, were you a good student?
I'm a BC average, man. I never really got into grades. Um,
Right.
Ball, football, and like see, here go the funny part about me. My mother and father drove all the school buses, and we lived in the rural part of the county. So it's like I didn't come home. It's like the whole school year I was either playing football, and I was a trainer for the basketball team for a little while. I played baseball. So I was just one of them kids, man, that always stayed busy because I lived so far in the country that school was like our thing.
Right.
And really that's all we had. Honestly, man, was the high school.
Yeah, so instead of going back home and skipping rocks across the creek, you know, you
Cool.
you just stay in school and just hang out with your people and do all that other stuff. So playing football, being raised as the youngest, um, are you and your sister close?
Yeah, man. We tight. We tight. We lost our father maybe 6, 7 years ago. Our mom's still holding on, doing good, doing real good. But yeah. I mean, my sister, She reaches out more than I do, but we talk at least once or twice a week, at least.
It's very, very important.
Yeah.
Very, very important. Were y'all close going? I mean, a year and a half, almost
Like,
13 months. So growing up, y'all was pretty tight because y'all were in all the same schools together. So, uh, so growing up, were y'all tight?
yeah, it's crazy because we even look like twins coming up almost, and man, we was real tight. She left when she graduated high school. Of course, I was a junior, and she went to college in Atlanta. I was like my you know what I mean. So, but yeah, other than that, man, we was two peas in a pod, man, like all the time, hanging out.
Oh, that's I love the close knit.
Yeah,
I'm the youngest of three, and I had two older sisters. My middle sister passed in November, but we was never really close like that. Like we were close. Me and my middle sister was close growing up, and um, then they were never close. Like they argued and fought. They 6 or 7 years older than me, so they well in their 50s. And I told him like, yo, y'all almost 60. Why y'all still fighting? Like,
uh, uh,
is 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 there an end point to this? Y'all gonna be fighting until y'all 70? Man, it's crazy. It is crazy. So your parents were your parents good examples growing up as far as like being married? Is that where you got the base of your foundation from, like seeing your parents, how your parents move, how your dad moved, or and things like that? How's your relationship before your dad passed? How was your relationship? How was your relationship with your mom growing up?
but like total transparency, man. My dad was out there, man. He was a good dude, but he was out there, in them streets, man. What happened was I learned what not to do. I took a different route. But it's funny you asked me that because I thought I had to be like coming up.
Mm.
So you know what I'm saying? I chased the girls. I was a player stuff because that was like a family trait, to be honest with you. Like, most of my uncles, my cousins, it's like the shorter guys, we always was out there with the women. But no, as for my mom, and my mom always been like my mom been my rock all my life. So, that's my girl. That should really solidify my foundation of who I am now. Because no matter how far left I went, I still face my mama. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right. And you said something that's really key, and I don't think a lot of people really acknowledge or pay attention to it. The example, be it good or bad, is something that we end up falling into because it's the example. And even though it was wrong, if everybody around you is doing wrong, their wrong is right.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
that's how my family was. Like all the males had they all actually the, everybody, males and females, both wilding on both sides. My aunties, everybody wilding. Everybody had side pieces.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah.
it, and it was just the way that it was. And I was raised by a single father in the 80s. And so I see him do things that I just thought was normal.
Right.
And,
Right.
and so you just follow suit, and you just start picking up these characteristics and these bad habits without actually knowing that they're bad until you get into a space where everybody's like, yo, that's not right.
Right.
But that's relative because where I come from, this is how people get down.
It works.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that, so in what year did you graduate high school?
87, 1987, man. I'm gonna
You
55.
graduated in 87?
Yeah, I'm 55 years old, man.
Bruh. Boy,
Where
it's the fruit juice. Got that man looking all nice and young. It's the prune juice. Hey, y'all drink prune juice. Keep the skin tight. I'm just saying.
can you get them figs in you? No, I'm joking.
So 87, I was in I think I was in going into seventh grade in 87.
It's crazy. That's
Man, 87. So after high school, did you go to college? Did you transit or you go to the military?
to the military, man. I followed my mom's brothers, my uncle. Like I said, I tore my shoulder out because I was going to college and tore my shoulder out. I had took the ASVAB as a junior because in the country everybody take the military exam in the country.
For sure.
Me and my cousin Corey, we went in the military, man, and I did my 20 years, man.
So you did 20. What branch?
Army.
Army.
Hmm?
Hoorah.
That's right. What you know about?
Hua. Okay. Thank you for your service. I'm a Navy veteran. I know. Yes, I'm a Navy veteran. I didn't do 20, but I did serve my time in the Navy. So you did. So okay, you leave this little small town, right? You go to the Army. What was your first duty station, and was it a culture shock? Like coming from a small place, unless you went somewhere small? Did you go somewhere where you where the lights were bright and the big city kind of thing?
Downtown Honolulu, Hawaii, man. I went
What? Oh my God!
in Georgia to Honolulu, Hawaii. Schofield
Uh,
Barracks.
Man, you was wild, and I already know it. So, what was that like, though? What was the experience? What was some of the things that you did that when you got to Hawaii that you were just like, man, this is shooting fish in a barrel. Like,
And let me tell you, right? First of all, I lost 30 pounds in basic. So I Hawaii fit and trim tight. And you know what I'm saying? I thought I was LL Cool J back then. I was wearing Tango sweatsuit 09. And you're talking about leaving the country where you either black or white, you mostly black around us, man, and you downtown Waikiki and everything's there, man. Everybody's there, and the locals are amazing. So shout out to my Hawaiian brothers and sisters, man. They're crazy fun, man. And it was just everything that you saw on TV. You know what I mean? I don't know if you can recall PI back in the
yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah, Magnum, yeah.
I met Tom Selleck in the club. The guy TC had a club called Rennie's, and go to the club. I seen Magic Johnson, Patty LaBelle, just Tom Selleck. Like you might just see anybody downtown. I've been to Pro Bowls, and it was just crazy, man. So yeah, it was a straight shock. And you talking about coming from the river, from fishing in the river to the ocean.
Fishing to the yeah, yeah.
Oh, and last thing, I met my friends I got today, 30-something years, man. The same four guys I met back then. We still rock together today.
That's dope. And I met one of them, Dave. Right?
Right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
came
That,
out.
that that's a good. That's pretty dope. You don't see, and I try to share this with my son. Like his homeboys that he have now, is like these homeboys, the ones that you have right now. Some of them gonna be lifelong friendships. Some of them are gonna fade away, but he sees me and some of my friends that I had since seventh grade, and we still rocking together. And I'm like, man, those friendships are invaluable. And after 10 years, y'all just become brothers. Really, after the first 5 years, it's like, oh no, we brothers now. Like we in close quarters, and we got each other's back. And you said something, and I want you to kind of elaborate on this because I heard two different things out of one thing that you said. You said, so the analogy was you went from fishing in the river to fishing in the ocean. That has two different meanings to it when I hear it.
Yeah,
One is literally fishing in the river and catching fish and going to the ocean and catching fish. And then the other one is fishing in the river and
right.
then fishing in the ocean from another aspect. Was that true? Is
Yeah,
that a true analogy?
man. Listen, literally, first of all, when you fish, you trying to eat. You know what I mean? We fishing to eat sometimes. When you fish in the ocean, it was fun. It was all about just getting out there, splashing and watching bikinis, first bikinis in your life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Right.
that, and man, I just thought of it. We walked up on a volleyball tournament down Waikiki, man. When I say I never seen so many tall, fine women before in my life, all cultures, right? And it's just like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's for real. So that's the literal sense of it. You literally went to the river at home to eat, and you went to the ocean to play. You
For
know,
sure.
and about, like when you're talking about the mentality of chasing the women, and always a confident kid though. You know what I mean? I don't know, like my mom and they just gave that to me, but I studied real bad. I studied real bad, right? And so when I got in the military, it's like they forced me to become bolder. Because stuttering is really basically how your brain and your vocal cords, all that's good stuff. And man, I became a little. I was never cocky. I was always confident in my abilities. And you just join in. And when you meet people with the same type of passion that you have, it's easy to become who you are. You know what I mean? So
For sure.
so like the women was never an issue. Like I said, I came up in a household where that was almost expected. And I just had a keen sense of who I was always as a person.
Okay. So you had some so some of your childhood experiences that were staples are now becoming reality because you're in position to be able to see some of the fruits of your labor immediately at on a high scale. At what point in the military or what point in your younger, we're going to just kind of walk this through, like what was some of the things that you started to develop that were trauma, like stemming from trauma in how you moved and handled people?
Oh man, that's a great question. Um, when I look back, I didn't trust well. You know what I mean? I didn't trust people well because I've always seen people scheming and trying to, get over and get what they want out of situations. So it's like, so when I first got to Hawaii, I was standoffish. I was never like quiet, but it's like, yo, what's up, bro? How y'all doing? And I'm always doing my own thing. You know what I'm saying? I bought me a little hoopty when I got there. So I was just a dude, like, I'm gonna go see the world. And so it was like, I don't trust these cats. I don't know these cats. I'm just gonna be me. And when it comes to the trauma, man, when it comes to females, I didn't open my chest. And my heart has always been something that I protected. You know what I mean? Learning earlier that what controls you. That's where everything flows to your heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I was closed off as far as trauma wise, emotionally, seeing the trauma that my mom went through. With my father. Like I said, he was a great father, but not a good husband. You understand what I'm saying with that?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure.
I don't have any bad things he done to me, but to watch my mom go through all the emotional traumas and stuff, I really didn't attach to females well on a mental level. It was physical. It was all physical. Get in, get out, have fun, do whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And honestly, man, that stayed with me for years, and probably until my mid-30s.
It is definitely hard to shake. What about the trust with like your homeboys? Like, men already have an issue with developing solid relationships, and one of the first relationships is with your, supposed to be with your father. And if how did that relationship forge you in other relationships when it comes to your encounter with men?
Man, I was blessed, man. Like I said, I got the same four dudes I've been rocking with for 30 some years. But it took us stages to get there. You got what I'm saying? It's funny, my man Kenneth Domino, and I'm gonna name drop if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, for now, go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was cutting my hair in the bathroom, and he lived across the hall. And we would say what up to each other. Hey man, what's going on? And he's from Mississippi. And it's funny, right? Because we had a payphone out on the Lanai. barracks, and my room was right by the payphone, so I could literally open my door and grab the phone. So so people used to come out that way and talk all the time. So I would just hear brothers talking, man. Just getting the feel of it. Like, man, man, he catch playing. I'm trying to chase these women right now. I ain't got time for that. They out there talking about fighting and all this stuff. Think about, I'm 18, 19 years old, and I met him in the bathroom. I was cutting my hair, man. And he asked me would I cut his hair. I said, yeah, okay, bro. Come on in the room, man. And I cut his hair that day, man. And we've been rocking ever since, bro. And he was like, I've been watching you, dog. I see the way you move. I'm rolling with you because these cats out here talking about getting it, and then you ain't never in the barracks. So I know you out there doing something. I'm riding with you. Yeah. And then, from him to one of his friends, which is, we call him Big Reg up in Delaware, Suggs, came around, and then, guy called Lil Reg, Peanut, that's my man up in Atlanta, and you met my man John Youngblood. Like, so they all came pieces with the other person. And it's like, so if I'm cool with you and he trusts you, I trust you.
Right. Right.
But everybody else that was just trying to tag on, we didn't really vibe, with them a whole lot, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm cool with you, but though, like, I'm saying, you ain't one of my.
Right. You're an associate, but you ain't on the inside. You ain't in this inside circle.
Facts.
Yeah, I dig it. Same way. Same way. So now you out in the military, you moving, you shaking, you starting to establish yourself. Actually, what was you doing in the military? What was your job in the military?
I was food service in the military.
Okay, so it was an easy transition to get out.
Yeah.
Okay, you said you did 20. Now, did y'all, when y'all went get stationed different places, did y'all try to build relationships? I mean, of course, like hey, yo, I'm stationed over here and wherever, man, you should pull up and hang out a little bit.
It's so funny that you said it. The guy that you met, John, that came down to the
Oh, John, I said Dave, my bad. I thought
yeah, it's John.
Yeah, John. Okay.
We did all 20 years together. We did all 20. We end up literally not far from each other the whole 20 years.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm gonna tell you the craziest thing, man. We was in Iraq. I was in Iraq in the first RF1, and he was out Fort Hood, and I was here in Benny, and man, we sitting down trying to get our stuff, and I see this cat walking across, like, across the dirt, bro, and it was windy. I said, man, that dude walk like Jay. I said, you know what I'm saying? I'm tripping, right? So, I keep talking to whoever I was talking to, and that cat walked up on me, man. We found each other in the desert, bro. In Iraq. In the middle of the desert, that cat. And like, that's just how our friendship's been. Like I say, I called him and said, yo, man, I'm going to Dallas on this panel with these brothers. He said, all right, bro, I'm coming.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Just like that. No nothing. I got you. So yeah, man, like, I don't know how we got this tight. And I think it's because, man, just like when I met you, man, when you're genuine, you feel the vibe of genuine people. You know what I'm saying? When you're a clown, you find clown people. You know what I mean? Like I say,
for sure. For sure.
Smokers find smokers. They don't find people who don't smoke.
Right.
So,
right.
I can't pinpoint it, man, but we just stuck like glue ever since, man. Ever since.
Okay, so most of the time when people they go to the military, they normally end up getting married. Did you end up getting married while you was in the military?
Man, you digging deep now. You trying to hit me in the gut. I did 12 years without getting married. I did my first 12. I got married my 12th year, and I actually had my oldest daughter. She's 32. I had her when I was leaving Hawaii. So, and but I. One child, single for a long time, man. I was in my 30s when I got married. So you already understand how that was,
Oh, for sure.
Place to place, traveling, doing it. And I met my ex-wife in Korea. We was in Korea together. And we kicked it then, and we both came back to the States. And that's when my son popped up, and that's when we got married.
How long were y'all married?
On paper or together?
Both.
19 years. on paper.
19 years.
Paper. When she left, when she left, we stayed connected on paper about 7, 8 more years. Like we didn't get divorced real fast.
Yeah, I mean benefits from the military, BHA, BAQ, the pay, all that good stuff.
Yeah, but no, what it was, no, I was retired. But since she left once we got retired, but since she left, and me and my kids, we was living, so it wasn't even a issue because you know what I'm saying, she wasn't in the way. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And like I say, of course, people have medical issues, things go on, so you don't want to. I'm not a vindictive person. You know what I'm saying? I let her keep ID card for a while.
Well, was it hard for you to come out of the lifestyle and into settling down with one woman? And was that difficult?
Yes, very difficult, man. Based on being in the military and being like that. I don't. I understand the term alpha dog and all that stuff, man. So being the alpha dog and people expect you to be certain things. You know what I mean? People that
Yeah.
and that's peer pressure, and that's also that keeping up that image. You know what I mean? It was very tough. I didn't mean to grow up, man. You know what I mean? Life grew me up. You know what I'm saying? At the most high, he owned his, he owned
He
business.
he'll do that thing. Life will be life and have you grow up real quick.
Yeah, man. So like, he humbled me, man. And like I say, and I'm gonna tell you what happened, man. I would think I was 29, 30. I called my mom for my birthday, and I was in Korea. I was actually dating her at the time, and I said, "Yo, mom, how old am I?" Because I was like, you know what I mean? Like, am I 30 or 29? And me and my mom had a long conversation that day, man. And my soldiers had bought me 4 bottles of Tanqueray, and I didn't really drink, but I was drinking that weekend, and man, I got tore up. And I remember praying. I said, Lord, like another birthday. I was turning 29. I said, Lord, I want a son, an expedition, and a wife.
In
And
that order?
yes, and that before I left Korea, she left pregnant with my son.
Uh-huh.
Right. We got married shortly because she got stationed in San Antonio, Texas, and I got sent to Fort Riley. In order to get us together, we had to go ahead and get married. You know what I mean? And then when I got sent to Kuwait, she bought me a Ford Expedition. I mean, a Ford Explorer, which I traded in for my Expedition. It's crazy.
Oh man, hey, the Expedition was the joint when it first dropped.
Think about it, man.
Boy, you was top notch. You
Man,
had that Expedition.
I went from a Montana, a minivan, to a doggone Expedition, bro. It was crazy.
Oh, you was rolling.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
crazy.
So w- in that uh in that space, what was one of the most difficult pieces of the two becoming one in marriage for you? What was one of the hardest things that you faced in becoming in trying to be this husband that you didn't have a real good example of being? How hard was that? Like, what
Being,
was some of the challenges?
yeah, being a father wasn't hard. Because I had my oldest daughter and my son 8 years apart. So my son, I was good. The hardest part was for me was to understand this woman that's in my life and understanding her issues and honestly, I cared. I was into my son. And I loved her. Don't get me wrong, I loved her and I always took care of her, but not understanding her weakness, what she needed from me, other than the provision part. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just took care of bills. She have no problem. Lights not getting cut off, none of that. But it's like understanding what she needs as as a wife. You know what I mean? And
Uh-huh.
my wife understanding what she needed from me at the time because I didn't believe at the time. I didn't believe in depression and all these other things. And she was having postpartum, which I had never heard of. You feel what I'm saying? I never even heard of postpartum depression.
Right.
And the world I was in was like this. and you slowing me down. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean you don't feel like getting up? Like, yo, let's get up and get it. So I think that was the hardest part, man. Like putting other people's feelings before mine, and you know what I mean. And that was tough. That was tough.
So, you said something a little bit earlier too. I want to just kind of
You
circle back on this. Um, what was how important do you believe being delivered from people is when it comes to getting out of the perception of what somebody else think that you should be doing?
That's the key. You know, you can't change in the same place. You can't change with the same people. It's just you're almost fighting against yourself. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I, when when my best friend Domino from Mississippi got saved, you know, he would tell us afterwards. He told me, man, I was afraid to talk to you guys because he's the one I did most of my dirt with. You feel me? In Fort Ruck, Alabama, and you know I was in Fort Georgia. We were an hour away, and we bought that thing from Hawaii rolling. You understand? But when he got saved, man, he said he didn't want to tell me because he didn't know how I was going to take him. I'm like, bro, I love you, man. So I don't, you know, because you know we all had some faith. We weren't just walking with walking it. So I mean, that's the key. It's hard to change when you don't want to change. You know what I mean? You have to change your environment, the people around you, in order to understand your mindset to give yourself that space to grow.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And that's why, a lot of times when they be like, you know, oh, short, you ain't the same no more. Right.
And I shouldn't be.
Right.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? And,
Right.
and see, that's the thing about going back home in the country sometimes. It's like I left their football player, mom worked at school. I left there this way, chasing girls and blah, blah, blah. Now I'm here trying to help people. And it's like, they don't know this person. Make sense? That's the reason why I don't connect my TikTok and my Facebook too, because they know me as how they know me, but I made a transformation. I made a change. Just
Right.
but like you don't walk around with a sign saying I've changed. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I just didn't feel like I have to explain it to everybody.
You know that we kind of got a similar kind of connection. So my homeboy, my best friend since seventh grade, got saved when we was 17,
Hmm.
and um, he kind of navigated like your homeboy did, but he came full of zeal. Like y'all going straight to hell. We like what? Don't invite that joker to nothing.
Nothing.
We can't. We nope. Can't invite him to nothing. And at 17, he planted a seed, and we alienated him. We didn't include him in the festivities because we didn't want him raining on our parade. We wasn't doing nothing bad, but the stuff that we wasn't doing wasn't always good either. It was kind of borderline just because of how we was raised. We know we weren't gonna be too far over here because our parents was crazy, but we was close enough to it and just enough into it that he would have been like, God said,
Right.
and we just didn't want that to be a part of our story. And 9 years later, after he done planted the seed, that's when the seed grew for me. So I was 26 when that seed developed, and I've been riding since 26. And I always thank him because I'm like, bro, you cared enough about our soul at 17 to come in the best way you know how and to share in the best thing and the best decision that we could have made in our lives. So um yeah, that is, it's hard when I'm expecting, I'm looking at you and I'm like, they gonna look at me different,
Right.
and that caused people to be a prisoner.
Yeah. Definitely.
You'll be a prisoner to somebody else's perception forever until you're not.
Facts. And the
So
book
okay,
itself, right?
and go ahead.
And that's why I named my book "Think for Yourself." You know,
Yeah,
it's like we don't, man. We really don't realize how much social media drives our thoughts and our surroundings. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy.
So we're gonna touch on that a little bit. So you was married. You was married.
Let's just say 20.
We'll say 20 years, and you did 20. You retired. Y'all go y'all separate ways. How was picking up the broken pieces? Like, was it? There's two kind of examples that I use in this broken pieces thing. Was it shattered glass that you had to go through each broken piece of the glass to kind of turn over to see what pieces you wanted to keep that were you? Or was it the shattered glass? You looked at the pieces, swept those pieces off, and just started with a whole new glass?
I crushed them. I swept them to the corner. I didn't have time to deal with the pieces.
Uh,
Like, you know, when we split, man, like I said, I called it my 2-2-2. She left me with 2 kids, 2 dogs, and 2 jobs. You feel me? I got an
yeah.
8 and a 12-year-old son. And, you know, I'm teaching because at the time I was teaching at the technical college and I was catering on the weekend. So it's like my life was spinning, you know, and that's what I mean when I said earlier, I didn't mean to grow up. You know, I didn't plan it that way. You know,
Mhm.
honestly, man, I got so deep into what I was doing that the glass pieces started falling off the shelf because I put them on the shelf. And then every time something go wrong, I put something else on the shelf. Sooner or later, what happened to the end of the shelf? Other
It,
stuff, all of
yeah.
it. And I woke up in the middle 10 years later, no relationship. I was just all about working kids, man. You know, I didn't even care about myself, honestly. I mean, it wasn't like I was hurting myself, but my needs and wants were always last.
That's a tough place to be in, especially when you're trying to raise families, keep your mental state. Now, I mean, this was years ago. Now it's easy to say, "Hey, I just go get a therapist," because it's cool.
Right.
Back then, though, nah, go get a therapist. Nah, you don't go talk to anybody outside your circle about your stuff that's going on in your house. We don't air our dirty laundry like that. And I just think about some of the mindsets that we have no matter where you are. You grew up in Georgia. I grew up in Indiana. But the principle of not airing your dirty laundry is universal. You know what I'm saying? We walked around prisoners of all kind of mental stuff. Of course, in our generation, you are a Gen Xer, so in our generation, there were just some things that just wasn't diagnosed. You know, like no, we take this thing to the grave.
Right. You know, we,
You
you know,
you walk around and carry that thing to the grave, and you don't say nothing about nothing, which when I look back, I'm glad like that was my situation. But like being able to be in a place now where you can physically say it's okay to need a therapist. I told my son the other day, I was like, yo, you know um you might need a therapist. I mean, if you need a therapist, let me know. you know, uh, especially like last year, he went through something real traumatic with his sports. He's a phenomenal basketball player. Went through some stuff, and it mentally destroyed him. And I told him, I was like, dude, I get it. You can't talk to me. I'm dad. I get it. All you hear from me is go clean your room and why your car dirty. You don't hear the jewels that I'm telling. I need you to. You need to go find somebody that you will listen to, that's going to be able to pour into you, so that you can be healthy. And I don't know 20 years ago what I would have said that, or what I would have tried to be the dad to come in and I'm going to make you listen to me kind of thing, you know? Yeah.
it's crazy, man. You know, it's funny, man. Because as you was talking, it just brought back a whole bunch of stuff, man. And I just remember laying in bed one night, like crying, like, God, Lord, how did I get here? You know, I got this little daughter that I'm trying to, train, teach her how to be a woman. I have no clue. I mean, I could teach her how to be a nice little young lady. You know what I mean?
Right.
Close your legs, blah blah blah. But she with her brother, she wearing J's. you know. Uh, but you know what's funny, man? It's like I used to blame myself though. You know what I mean? And that's what that what woke me up. I blame myself. Like, man, see, you played all them games all your life. You know, you running around doing this, that, never doing nothing illegal, just having fun. You know what I mean? And because I lost who I was at that moment. You know what I mean? Because that's all
Yeah.
I life, man, was to chase women and have fun. So
How was the because I was in that same space, and I tell a lot of I tell people like it's very few, even some cats that's out here that say they did something. It's very few cats that live the life that I lived. It's a handful of us in this. In it, it's some cats that was out here doing some stuff. Then there was some cats out here really doing some stuff. Then there was some cats that was they was doing stuff, but you would think they were down here with the guys that wasn't doing nothing. And so I was up in here. What was this your same challenge? My challenge was the man that I wanted to become. I didn't know what he looked like, and I never seen him. Was did you struggle with like did you struggle with that?
man, I struggled all because I kept switching gears. Because like foundation and all behaviors learned. So if you don't have a learned foundation already, you have to create one or find somebody with it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't I wasn't you understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna do it my way.
I ain't hear that you broke up. I ain't hear that last part.
No, I said I wasn't man enough to ask for help at that time.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm gonna do it,
yeah.
you know, I'm keep shorter, I'm gonna make it work because I've always been blessed of I'm a very talented dude as far as when I put my mind to something, I don't care what it is, I'm gonna do it. Like I went to school, I got my master's, you know, I started business. And those are all things that I said I wanted to do. But when I did it, I didn't have a contingency plan on okay, well, what's next? And that's where I kept getting stuck at.
Uh-huh.
So
I know when it like one of the hardest things of coming out of that lifestyle and trying to be a good dude, like trying to be a solid, right, making the right decisions kind of dude. I
yeah,
didn't. Me and my homeboy, he was in a whole nother state. I wasn't in close quarters with him, so I didn't have him as an example. And it was hard. No, one of my hardest challenges was looking in a mirror and seeing the same guy. That was a hard transition for me. It was like I'm I keep seeing the same dude. He don't look different. And so it took a long time for me to be able to change the lens so that I could see myself and the progress that I was making and the things that I was doing that was like, oh, okay, you are becoming some different. But I had my mentor who I had asked to mentor me. And I was like, this dude got something going on. And I'm like, I like that.
I get
And I'm like, I don't look like that currently. And
right.
I want to look like that. And so I asked him to mentor me. But again, the fight, the internal battle, the internal struggle, the internal being a prisoner to to a lifestyle that I was raised in. Oh man. And then to only get told, and I'm pretty for people who was rocking the way that you rocked, when you changed, they questioned why you changed. Like you said, like that's why you don't connect your two. Like you changed. Yes. Why are you questioning the change? Is it positive? You
Right.
still you expect me to be out here at 50 years old, still out here in the streets?
Right.
You know, 40 years old out here in the streets? Craziness. And I'm gonna tell you how warped my family's thinking was. And I know they're gonna probably watch this and I'm gonna probably get some pushback, but they know it's in love because it's all part of the story, right? Here's how warped the thinking was. When I got married, some of the first questions that I got was, do I have a side piece?
Facts. You know, man, listen, when I got married, they wanted to see who she was. It was like, no way. Because like all my boys was married. Everybody been and I was like, you know, I was the one that they lived vicariously through.
Right.
So man, when I said getting married, my boys came to see like who this chick that you know. And here's the deal: she was nothing like they thought. She was a nice, just wholesome. You know what I mean? Just a nice person. You know what I mean? And they was like, okay, like they
Like,
wouldn't
are you serious?
fight. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? We thought you'll have a, you know,
The dime
yeah,
stack brick house.
right.
Yeah. Now,
They
brick house sometimes don't make a good mom. You know what I'm saying? It don't make I'm just saying,
honest, just being honest, bro.
yeah, just being honest. Now, so you process through, you get married, you get divorced, you pick the pieces up. You are an example to your son. You are the first uh example to your daughter of what a man should be. So, you probably set the bar pretty high. It do you see some of the dating choices that they make as they were growing up? Did how did you kind of tell them like, hey, I know that guy, and the reason how I know that guy is because I was that guy.
I was that dude, man. You know what's crazy? They date weak men, both of them.
uh,
And so it's like, you know what happened and what I did wrong, but like they knew Daddy got them, so they can go date weak people. So it twisted on me. It didn't come out the way I thought because I was always that dude. Like, nah, men your age ain't gonna do nothing, blah blah blah. And both of my daughters date weak guys, and it baffles me at first, man. I couldn't get it till somebody told me. She said, "Yeah, because you always got their back. Like they know they can." Actually, both my daughters live with me now. My 32 and my 20. You know what I mean? So they they knew like they can go and slack off, and both of them needed to be needed. I think. You feel me?
mm,
Moms and all that. Both of them need to be needed. So I was just trim, so they didn't have to date. Man, sounds crazy.
yes, man, man, that's a conflict. What internal internal conflict? Because you want, as the father, you don't want to make the choice for them, but you also want to help them make the right choice. And when these guys come in and shake your hand and it ain't even firm,
I'll be looking at them like, bro,
oh,
I'm telling you, it took me a while to even shake a dude's hand. I look at now, I only like him. It can go, but then I found out the more I did that, the more they grabbed on to him. So
yeah, because at some point they know that you're dad, and they know that, oh, this will get under his skin a little bit. Let me bring little Johnny home who pants is sagging, and he gonna walk up and say, "What's up, bro?"
I mean,
Oh, I'm so glad I ain't got no daughter.
bro, I'm telling you, it's the hardest thing to raise girls, man. My son growing up, but like he my dude right now, man. He moved to Texas. I'm gonna tell you what happened to my son real quick. He went to college, and I always told him he was 10 years old, military or college. Those are your own options. He went to school for half a year. He came back home, said, "Dad, I don't want to go to school no more." So, okay, well, you got to start paying $300 a month rent for that room. You got, this is my house. It's not your house. It's my house. And I put you in college. I did all I can do for you.
Right.
Moved to Texas. He was gone, and he started instantly because he knew then, like, okay, and like he'll call me now and say, "All right, Dad, you was right." You know, like you don't have to bump your head like I did. I learned the hard way. Some things you can listen to me on.
How old is he?
24.
He's 24. So my son's 18. I tell him that all the time. I'm like, son, you can learn by wisdom or you can learn by consequence.
Simple.
You choose. Wisdom already walked the path. I've already been every age that you gonna be.
Facts.
And I be asking, when was the last time you was 19? Oh,
Right.
never? Okay, so you don't know nothing about what 19-year-olds do. But it's great that you kept the lines of communication open to where he can come back now and feel like it's your safe place, because I deal with students who parents are not their safe place, and I become their safe place because their parents weaponize the stuff that they're saying to them and and I got to make sure that I don't turn around and weaponize my son's stuff so that I'm not the safe place. I should always be one of the first people you're able to talk to.
So yo, has he tried you yet?
Oh, well, he tried me when he was younger.
Okay, okay.
He was about 14, about 14. I'm gonna tell you this quick story because I know you got a story. I'm gonna tell you. So I was talking to him, and we were in a house, and he was walking into the bathroom, and I was behind him just talking to him, and he closed the door as I was talking, and I hit the door. Man, I went into it. I don't even know what happened. I grabbed that joker by his neck, power bombed him on the bed.
Right.
Just slammed him down. He fell and bounced all on the floor. My wife comes up running upstairs, and she's like, "What's going on up here?" I'm like, nothing going on up here. We good.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. And after that, he kind of knew that, okay, my dad crazy.
Yeah. Fact. Yeah, man. Listen, mine was funny. My son was 6 feet 6'1", and I was 5'10", but I had my knee surgeries anyway. But he's about 16, man, and they was using this term bruh. Everybody was bruh. Like the girl was bruh, and I was saying like something like, "I'm tired of the trash not being the trash truck. Take the trash now. You got to go find you a dumpster and go take the trash out, right?" All right, bruh. Who you talking? You always yelling. Not like you. I grabbed so fast. Like, who are you talking to, dude? Like, for real, man. Like, I don't know why they hit me that bruh thing. I'm not your boy. You know what I'm saying? Bruh.
Right.
Yeah. Then ever since then, he called my mom. My mom came and got him for a couple of hours. And he came back. But, he felt, and there was some little friction when his mom left, too, because he blamed it on me. You understand? So that was
Yeah.
we had to work. I'm telling you, man, it's if you don't communicate with your kids, it's gonna come back and bite you.
For sure. Sure. And it's sad, like in situations where the father don't have the ability to be able to create to contribute to the narrative. I mean, I have some homeboys right now that don't have the opportunity to contribute to the narrative, and the narrative is being written by a bitter woman, which is painting them out to be a bad father, and they're good dudes, you know. So now, so you're living single.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I put anything out there. So you living single. You got your two daughters. How did you land in the coaching space? How did you land in the relationship space?
That's a good question, man. I always been that one that understood things kind of fast when it came to people. I learned what discernment was. You know what I'm saying? So I have great discernment when it comes to people and stuff. And I always was the one everybody talked to. So during COVID, you know how you just scrolling down Facebook during COVID and everything was like 80% off.
Yeah.
I saw this coaching training, so I clicked on it and I ordered it, and because I had heard about coaching and become a life coach and all that. And so I did that course. I did a life course, then I did a relationship course. Then I did a mental health course. I was just doing them. You know what I mean? I was just feeding off of it during COVID because I wasn't working because my catering business went totally out.
Uh-huh.
So then I got a job, and they was on TikTok, and I didn't know I thought TikTok was just a music video thing. I didn't care nothing.
Me too.
You know what I mean? So, and I mean, I'm at work, and these people, everybody on TikTok making TikToks, at their desk. So, and actually, Concrete Rose, man, we was internet friends. We met on a dating app.
Okay.
Yeah, and we was straight cool though. Now, that was my first time meeting her this year after 5 years. Right? We were for 5.
That was your first time face to face?
Face meeting her, man, and we just stayed cool. And she said, "Hey, make you a TikTok and go like my videos because I'm saying I'm trying to get more followers." I said, "Okay," so I made an account, and then I just started searching it. You know how you just feeding it, feeding it, and that's how it went off. And I started doing my questions of the day, and I was always helping my female friends though. Like I got about 4 female friends that always have men problems, and and I realized like they're not listening to me. To after the fact, then they'll come back and check this out. And I didn't learn that I was their problem. I did the same thing to my daughters. I was their protection, so they can go out there and deal with Joe Blow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's how I just started coaching, man. And people started asking me questions. I started asking questions because everybody was telling everybody what to do. Everybody was telling people, you should do, you should do. I said, I don't think that's the way. So I started asking questions. And when I started asking questions, that's when the coaching thing really kind of kicked off.
Wow, man. So just that simple.
Yeah. It's really
Right.
that.
And COVID really, I wish I would have maximized COVID because I didn't. I got on TikTok a little bit, and because it was nothing but like dancing stuff, you know. Um, and I was like, oh, this is just another social media app, and I don't know if I got time to do it. And so my son was on it, and I was like, anything that he's on, especially at the age that he was at, was like, I need to be on it so I can kind of regulate what he's doing and what he's posting. And so you took advantage of COVID, so you got your certifications, you went through your classes, and you started seeing people gaining traction. People started buying into what you were saying. It's not like you don't have the experience. So what you're telling people is, you know, book knowledge coupled with experience,
Yeah.
which makes you valid, because I can tell you from real life experience, and I can tell you from book knowledge. Yeah, that's all right. And so what out of all the spaces that you were learning in, as far as being coaching, what landed you in the relationship space? I mean, your friends around you, but I'm pretty sure they was dealing with some of the other stuff that you was trained on. But what made you say, you know what, this is gonna be my lane, and I'm gonna carve this out, and really push this as opposed to everything else?
It was a mistake because I wanted to be a life coach. You know what I mean? I wanted to help people, build their life up. But every question went back to relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know me, I'm very inquisitive about things. So when I started like studying, and I took another life and relationship course from another company that was like a little more, oh, and when I realized it, and this was a Christian based one, and it was like all about the relationship itself with the Most High, with yourself. I'm like, people fight relationships, heterosexual relationships or whatever relationship they want to be in, when they haven't even conquered the one with themselves.
Right.
You got what I'm saying?
Right.
That's when I'm,
Right.
because and if you listen to any of my stuff, I always say that the first relationship is within yourself, because we don't listen to ourselves. We are spontaneous. We are emotional creatures. We do all these things. Then we come back and want to talk about it after the fact. You know what I mean? So that's how I really started doing relationships, to help bridge that relationship with yourself, and believe in something other than yourself. And that way you won't take the bull crap that's coming for you, because you
Uh-huh.
because you stern with who you are, and you set those standards and you rock those standards, because now you have to have standards. I would say we never talked about standards growing up, man. We never talked
Right.
accountability to yourself. And like, if you listen, most people blame everybody else for what they do. So, and that's how the relationship spots. Well, if you don't understand why you did this, you're gonna do it again. Then you find yourself telling me the same story, but another dude and another dude and another dude. Stop. Hit the brakes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hit the brakes.
Right.
Okay, where's your foundation at? What do you want? Because you say you want A, but you mess with a guy that can't get you A. You messing with a girl that's telling you she don't want you, and you still running behind her. You see what I'm saying? And that's how I got to do it, man. Because some of the questions I was getting, it'll blow your mind. Some of the simple stuff, and the crazy part about it, most time I wasn't even answering the questions. I would ask them the same question, but you tell me. You know what I'm saying? What do you?
Right.
And that's how I got into relationship based coaching.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. you kind of just stumble into it, and then you realize like, oh, there's something to this thing.
Yeah, it's like,
There's something to it.
it's a real problem out here, man, and that's why. And you know what's funny, man? And I know I'm bouncing, but we don't want to slow down and just see things. If esoteric be this, this outer space wisdom, no, it's you.
Right, right, right. If we do a basic math, and I've been in 4 relationships, and 4 of them fail, I
Oh,
think I
Lord.
might be the common denominator in that. I mean, we just do a basic math. So, yeah, and I love that approach. Is when you put it back on. I'm actually a certified life coach, and I got certified in 2010. So I've been rocking in this thing for a long time,
Good.
um, because it was a way for me. I was also a sports agent, and so it was a way for me to connect with athletes without violating the NCAA rules. But one of my favorite questions is what would you tell you about what you're going through? What advice would you give you? And then letting them work through their own problems. I'm like, hey, man, I'm smart. They be like, man, you just work runs. No, I'm just asking the right questions.
That's it.
Yeah, that's really it. So you met Concrete Rose, and you're part of the transformational team, with Sydney Kelly. Hey, we just did an amazing interview with her. So she's part of that team. But now you it is, and you wrote a book. Let me pull your book up.
Appreciate
Here
it.
we go.
Thank you.
Here's your book, y'all. The question of the day on Amazon. Go cop that book because it is thorough. It has some great information in it, and it's going to help you hold yourself accountable. What prompted you to write the book?
I, man, Roses, man, Dr. Tony Stewart. Um, she had wrote a couple books, and we are good friends, and she would just, oh, you ought to write a book. I'm like, yeah, right, I'll write a book. And she was just doing her thing. Say, okay, well, you want to do it? I'm gonna write, I'm gonna do one. So so she did a German real fast. I'm like, come on, it ain't that easy. She said, listen, you can do it. And people have always wanted to be how you have those secret things in yourself that you don't want anybody to know. Always wanted to be an author. Always wanted to see my name or something.
Right.
Man, she just gave me the push. She pushed without pushing. You understand what I'm saying? And then
She held you accountable to your dream.
yeah, because I messed
Yeah.
out, and she's faith based. She's a strong person, and she the one that gave me that push to do it because I already had the idea. And people always ask a simple question, like the first question in my book is, "Who are you?" You know what I mean? And I have a preface over every question. I don't want to know your resume. I don't want to know how many kids you got, what you do for a living. Who are you? Most people can't answer that question.
That is true.
You know what I mean?
That question right there has stumped many
Many people, yeah.
people.
Oh, and that's how it went, man. And it took me longer than it should have to write it because I started it and I kept because it was going to be just a book of the questions I did on TikTok. Then I started realizing the foundation of the questions were all the same. Like people don't understand who they are. People don't understand accountability. People don't understand, or they don't want to understand. I ain't gonna say they don't.
Right.
That's how it all started, man. And I just took off from the questions I get because people always in your DMs. My DMs are full of questions. Hey, I'm married, but I like this guy. My husband ain't doing me right. Hey, man, how you feel about um I just got my heart broke by my ex. You know what I mean? And guys was pouring out to me a little bit, and that's how it really all came about, man. Because I did not get on TikTok to really build a platform. That was not my purpose. And because if you really go back now and look and see all of my stuff that I'm posting now are from 2002, 2022, 2021. Because I think it was good stuff back then. Because I didn't have any followers, so I could just be myself. Now
Right.
and then I start trying to create content, and it never goes over when you lose.
Right.
So now, man, I'm just back to being I am, man. That's how I got hooked up with everybody.
And that old content is where it's at though.
Killing them right now. It's killing them, man.
Hey, as long as it ain't on VHS, you can go back to some
Like,
you can go back to some old content.
right.
I repost a lot of stuff from years ago. I'm like, man, dang, I read. I'm like, man, that's some good stuff right there. Well, I was in a really good place with it. Whoa, that boy was spitting some stuff right there. Man, that is pretty cool. Now you're in this space, and I had the pleasure of sharing the stage with you at this event, a dating event that I think overall the event was very successful. People walked away empowered. People walked away having some of their questions answered. It was only so much that we could do in the short period of time that we had, but I think that it was really great, and you're putting content out there, and people. So for y'all need to go ahead and follow him on his social media. Go ahead and pull him up. There he is right there. Go ahead and pull him up and follow him. Be a part of his community. Go buy his book. Do all the things that he has right here. He's newly to Instagram, and I'm pretty sure I'll get his Instagram and I'll post it as soon as I get it. But follow him on Instagram. Sign up for his coaching. Go get his coaching. Do all these things. Here's one of the things. If you see somebody that is where you desire to be at, and they have the goods, why not just go ask that person to mentor you or coach you? And here's the best thing about it. Because he wrote a book and because he has some things in place, you don't personally have to deal with him physically. The material can coach you. I've been coached by several people that I have never met, but I got their books and I've read I read their stuff. So follow him. Yeah, so follow him, tap into him as a resource, tap into him as somebody that has some valuable knowledge that can help you move from one space to another space to another space. Especially, now I'm gonna say especially because he's dealing with the whole person, but he is landed in this relationship piece, and he has the knowledge, he has the wisdom, and he has the experience. What else can you ask for somebody who is tapping, who's there that you can tap into? I think we fail as people when we don't maximize our resources, and I think that um, we have these opportunities to tap in and we miss them. And I just have one other question. I have one other question for you.
Sure.
And I really didn't have no questions. We just kind of you say stuff, but I have one question for you.
Sure.
What is something that you didn't pay attention to early on that you had to learn the hard way? And this is just in general life question.
There's always a future. I live for now. Like my first 30 years of living, it was all about the now. You know what I mean? And you make those bad choices financially, socially, and if I would have made better choices coming up, I'll be in a whole different atmosphere. You know what I mean? I'll still be. Things around me would definitely be a little different. So it's just like what I learned the most about life, man, is that you have to live for the future. And many people live for their past. Many people live through their past. It's not going to change.
Right.
It's not going to change. So
right.
Living for your future is really what it's about. I tell people all the time, because a lot of people our age complain about their past, and I'm like, okay, change it. You understand what I'm saying? Because I never seen a person happy complain about their past.
Oh, that's good for sure.
You
For
understand?
sure.
And so it's always when you're down and you're out, you know, that's when you want to blame yourself and look at and blame others. But when you're happy, that's who you are. Then if your past is an issue, deal with it when you're able to deal with it. Deal with it when it's not a burden. So you know, that's what I take with me every day, man. I don't really care about yesterday.
Mm. Yesterday is yesterday. Can't change it.
Change it, man. All I can do is make my tomorrow better.
Yeah, that's right. You could pull from the experience and the wisdom from it and keep it moving. That man, this was good. I appreciate you pulling up on the podcast, man.
Oh,
Appreciate you hanging out with your boy for a few minutes. You got anything else you want to say to the people?
yeah, man. Let me give you your props, man. You know, like you said, we met probably a month ago, man, and you the truth, man. Like you're a genuine dude. You know,
Oh man, I appreciate that. Man, make me cry.
no, but because man, you know, the brothers don't love on each other enough. You know what I mean? And when you meet good people, man, you got to connect with them. I mean, I love what you said. Like you don't have to get to know me. Just go get the material. It's right there because that's me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And man, listen to you speaking. You know, on the lives at the conference, man, you got a lot to bring, and I appreciate you because you coming from a religious faithfulness. I used to be out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Man, and like you know, you keeping it 100, man, and I love it, man, because there's not enough of us doing it. You know what I mean? And just lead the people is show them your T-shirt, man. I got some apparel.
Oh yeah. You gotta pull up, you gotta get you a t-shirt. Hold on, let me see if I could do this without messing it up, messing my camera up. Let me zoom in a little bit. Y'all gotta get this t-shirt
I got my gorilla right there.
right there.
So now, man, you know, ladies and gentlemen, protect your heart, man. Go follow your dreams. Man, it's so easy out here now. You know, AI is helping out. You know what I mean? Like you really see what let your deal with your past when you're able to deal with it. Don't let it hinder you for your future because life is forward, not backwards.
That's
That's
true. You how many you done went on vacation driving looking through the rearview mirror? None of y'all. you ain't,
no,
you,
it's
you ain't you ain't never made it to your vacation looking through the rearview mirror. So yeah. Hey, I appreciate you pulling up. Hey, look, this has been another episode of Open for Discussion with Seymour Reese Ball. I love you like a play cousin, and I'm out. Peace.